Please welcome to the stage, Livia Scott!
OMG, it's so fancy. They're like chandeliers and everything. My story is like somewhat serious, but before I started, I do want to just ask something. Are there any guys here in the audience tonight who have a trust fund and are also like in an old-timey bluegrass band? You know, like maybe you play like a banjo or like an authentic jug. The reason I ask is I'm really horny and I want to have sex tonight, and the only way that I can come is if a guy with a trust fund who's also in an old-timey bluegrass band with like a banjo or an authentic jug corrects me about something. You know, like, actually, Jizz! Just putting it out there. All right, so, every woman I know has had a life-changing experience with a delusional man. Or 12. Work! And for the worst of them in these cases do so much havoc to her spirit that she essentially has to like crawl through the emotional sewage of Shawshank for like a year and a half at least before coming through the other side of it and being like, oh my God, I'm not garbage. I've just been going through the garbage and the horseshit of the delusional man. And, you know, let's just hope that we as a nation don't do that to ourselves. Trump OJ 2016. So, tonight, I will tell you the story of one particularly special delusional man who came into my life. And I think many of you, particularly women, will relate to this story and hopefully enjoy it. And out of respect for this man's privacy, we're going to call him Jizz. Yeah. Out of respect. His name isn't really Jizz, but I'm going to call him that to be nice. When I was in college, I went to see a band play, and a friend of mine introduced me to the lead singer. This was Jizz, and he had these big brown eyes and this like shaggy, brownish, reddish hair and like an aquiline nose and like kind of a full mouth, and I was just like, shit, you are cute. And and also he was sort of shy in person, but he was like very ferocious on stage. And the combination was just very, you know, damn, Jizz, you know. So then we met, and there was this very intense connection between the two of us that wasn't just attraction. It was like one of those things that, you know, even if you just meet a stranger briefly and you just like, you're not necessarily even attracted to them or anything, you're just like, did we know each other in a past life? You just like feel something with certain people. And he and I definitely had that in addition to this attraction. And we just kind of knew something was going to happen between us, and it did. Over the span of about a year and a half, Jizz and I became very close friends. And I'm totally committing to Jizz, so just get used to it. His name's Jizz. And he and I became very, very close friends, and although we were attracted to each other, we didn't really do anything because, or rather, I couldn't do anything because I had a boyfriend back home. And during this very intense time, this 1.5-year friendship, Jizz professed to be in love with me. And then he really encouraged me to leave my boyfriend for him. And he wrote me love songs that were just like, it was pretty intense stuff. And I did break up with my boyfriend after 1.5 years of this friendship with Jizz because we were growing apart, just as you do as young college kids, long distance, but also because I really fell in love with Jizz. So, that's kind of what happened. And when I returned to school, this guy and I had never even kissed, like nothing. We returned to school, and we pretty much had sex, like right away. And it was a very intense experience. It was really special. And then I never heard from him again. Nothing. Like after 1.5 years of like the love songs and break up with your boyfriend, I'm so in love with you, and like all this stuff, we sleep together, nothing. It was fucked up. So 6 months later, I see him on campus. We didn't have the same classes or anything, so it was actually sort of unusual to run into each other. And I saw him, and I confronted him about this, and I was like, what the fuck, I mean, in addition to us having sex, also, we were close friends. I don't understand this. And he explained to me that he was in love with me and all this stuff, and he was really freaked out after we had sex, and he just kind of like, ran away. And he asked me to let him back into my life, and I very warily, over the course of a month, like kind of agreed, and then we became friends again, and then over time, he and I ended up sleeping together again. And guess what happened? Never heard from him again. So, over the years, after experiencing like sort of an assortment of guys doing similar things, although on a much less intense level, like, how many women in here have slept with a guy and then never heard from him again? I mean, it's pretty common, and then, like, you've dated him for a few weeks and then, like, it fizzled out, he didn't call. And how many have like gone on one date with a guy and then he's been like, I don't want anything serious, and you're like, calm down. I know you can all relate to this. And how many of you dated Steve from Blue's Clues and had to listen to him complain in his $1 million loft about how nobody takes me seriously as an actor because I'm Steve from Blue's Clues? Meh. Because I did, can you tell? Anyway, I just started seeing that a lot of these guys are like trying to get their power on by like using women to get that power on, And it just made me go, and it gave me a little insight into Jizz and what happened there. Years later, 2011, I log on to Facebook and I have a friend request from Jizz. And of course, I accept, rub my hands, and set my motherfucking trap. Now, every now and then he comments on my stuff, and I have to say I was surprised at how his life turned out. It was very suburban, and he was married and had a kid. He wasn't doing music at all, and it just seemed very kind of beige. And so anyway, I click like or whatever, but then I wait until we're in a thread where there are a lot of his college friends, a lot of our mutual college friends, and then I type this. Jizz, it's pretty funny how we're Facebook friends now. After we were friends for 1.5 years, you professed to being in love with me. We slept together, and I never heard from you again. Then when I gave you another chance, I did. We resumed our friendship, slept together, and then I never heard from you again. Then he goes, oh, oh, wow, that's the way it is? And I was like, yep. And I unfriended him and did a happy jig. Do you think it's over? No. LOL, Jizz emails me 3 years later.
Oh my God.
Subject, an apology. Again, the theme for tonight is, ladies and gentlemen, delusion. I'm sorry. There's 100,000,000 other things I want / have / need to say too. And I don't know if you have any desire to hear them. But this is the first thing. I am sorry. Deeply, sincerely sorry. I'm sorry I didn't call you. I don't know why I didn't call you. I have been a stupid, dumb man for many years, and I'd like to think I'm not as stupid or dumb now as I was years ago, but that's no excuse. I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that you were, as of our last Facebook correspondence, still angry. I've been thinking about that ever since because it was so upsetting to me. In recent months, I started going back into college-era journals. And I basically found you written on almost every page. 1,000 vivid memories started flooding my brain, and I've been feeling like a jackass. I'm sorry to say it's taken me so long to say this. I've been trying to figure out what to say so long. Seriously, a long time we're talking about here. And what I should have said, straight out, was, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've not had you as a friend. Above all else, this is the thing I most regret. You are a brilliant, amazing, inspiring woman. And I would have loved to have seen you blossom and grow. And this is in italics. The following word is in italics. Become.
Oh my God.
When I think about you, your absence looms larger than anybody's. It always has. To not know you, to not be able to celebrate and cheer you on, that's been an absolute killer on me. That's on me. I failed you. I don't have an ulterior motive here. I don't really know what happens next. Honestly, I would love to get to know you again. Motherfucker divorced, okay? Like, that's why we're getting this email. I mean, I don't know if he is. I don't give a fuck, but like, It's just so funny to me. Honestly, I would love to get to know you again, but I felt rather than simply lurking in the background and not actually saying anything, I should be upfront with you. Yeah. You deserve that. You deserve way more than that, and frankly, I don't even know where to begin in that regard. I hope you'll accept my apology. Jizz. 2 years later. My reply. Hey. I haven't replied because I haven't had time. Replying is nowhere on the to-do list of my life. I mean, just your email is ridiculous. A simple apology would have been way better than this long and weirdly masturbatory, redundant nonsense. You're trying so hard to be special. You obviously have a strangely grandiose opinion of yourself, and I haven't thought about you in years. Like, when you friended me on Facebook, I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna enjoy this, and I did, because I was hurt for a long time. My head got fucked up, but after a while, I was just like, okay, he's a chode. Now, for those of you who don't know what a chode is, women and men, but particularly women, I think, like to call like men who are like annoying and turds, like douchebags. To me, I just don't think that's dismissive enough. A chode is the area between a man's sack and his asshole. Some people call it the taint, but I prefer chode. So, okay, he's a chode. Like so many chodes. And my self-esteem took a hit because I didn't know what I was capable of accomplishing. Whatever. Lots of women go through these unremarkable chodes in life who are subconsciously motivated by the need to meet the need to feel like they're special by hurting women. Yes. Did y'all get that? 'Cause there's some chattering.
Say it again.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's maybe some chode discussion, which is cool.
Yeah, no.
I am happy to go back. I am happy to go back, no problem at all. Okay, so he's a chode. He's a chode like so many chodes, and my self-esteem took a hit because I didn't know what I was capable of accomplishing. Whatever, lots of women go through these unremarkable chodes in life who are subconsciously motivated by the need to feel like they're special by hurting women. And that's pretty much the summation of it. Oh, yeah, and the reason I'm replying now is because I read your email on stage last night because I didn't feel like preparing anything. I just read it. And everyone groaned and laughed. Oh, and please don't reply or contact me ever again. It'll just annoy me, and I'm busy. Blossoming and becoming? Good Lord, ha ha ha. All right, now, I feel a little bad. See a shrink if you're not already and work on getting over yourself, okay? Message still stands. Do not reply to me, please. Adios. But, I already sent that, but just between us, it got me thinking that I was being too harsh on him because, after all, I really wasn't angry with him anymore. I was just annoyed that I kind of had to deal with it, and I just wanted to put it behind me peacefully. So I closed with this. I wrote him another message about 5 minutes later that said this. Okay, Jizz. I feel a little bad now. Everything I said was true, And I needed to be done with this because I suspected that you've probably been thinking that the reason I hadn't responded was because I was still angry and hurt, which isn't the case at all. I just truly have not been caring about this. The bottom line is that I'm sure you feel terribly about hurting me, and I forgive you. However, this email is not respectful of me. It is self-indulgent. You don't even say, "Dear Livia." Are you serious? So, for the sake of the women in your life, currently and going forward, I needed to let you know what was up. I stand by everything I said, and I think you need to get real with the things that I mentioned. I wish you well. It's never too late to be a better person. I know from personal experience that digging deep and making amends is possible, provided you are truly respectful of others and honest with yourself. The message still stands that I don't want to hear from you, so please respect that. Take care. And that was it. So that was the end of my correspondence with Jizz. And so, you know, I'm sort of left with what to say to you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I feel at peace with it. I'm sure I'm never going to hear from this guy again, and that's fine. But I just wonder, like, so many people here connected with that delusional email. Like, how many of you have these people in your lives who are just so fucking, like, insanely out of touch with how, like, dumb and stupid their choices are and how dumb and stupid they sound, right? And, like, wouldn't it be nice if you could just, like, say something to them, or like just give them a nice towel snap in the ass in front of like a whole bunch of people, and then just be like, "This is you. This is you." It's tough, but it makes it easier when you don't really care about the person. So yeah, in conclusion, it just feels good to be on this stage with you and share this with you, because that was a really hard experience for me for many years. And I really am, like, I'm way, way, way beyond it. And I feel really good. And it just is very much like the cherry on top of the sundae to, to share it with you and have you all enjoy it too, and to get it, right? You all have these people in your lives, particularly the ladies. Thank you very much. I'm Livia Scott. Thank you.